RPG, only on the system that keeps on kicking. Super NES.
Super Mario RPG!
Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Sometimes I think about the past. I think about where I was, what I was doing, and the people around me. These moments were incredibly important to my development, and reminiscing about them brings me a sense of comfort. Now that I can understand how important these moments were, it hurts to know I can never re-experience them. I moved, tried new things, and lost contact with old friends. It's a shame how these good things can't last forever, but that just makes their impact all the more precious. Throughout my life, I often bonded with my friend groups through discussions about video games. We normally talked about the newest releases, but every once in a while, discussion would turn to retro titles. These were games that not everyone in my friend group knew about or played, but that just made them all the more interesting and mysterious. They were often for consoles I didn't own, and some were even released before I was born. One of these games was 1996's Super Mario RPG: The Legend of the Seven Stars for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I heard about this game countless times as a kid, into high school, into college, and into adult life. Even though I personally never grew up with this game, I could tell it meant a lot to other people's childhoods. I eventually gave the game a try as an adult because of all the word of mouth, and I finally understood just how important this game really was. Super Mario RPG is one of the best gaming experiences out there. It takes the very familiar and consistent platformer game franchise of Super Mario and evolves it into an entirely new genre and experience. The goal of the game was no longer run right and save the princess. It was now explore a large expanding world with turn-based battles and defend against an invading warlord and his army of literal weapons. It was a large departure for the franchise in 1996, as Mario games were usually 2D platformers before then, but this new dynamic and creative angle succeeds amazingly. As far as I know, this was the first Mario game to feature this large of a world, this deep of a story, and this large of a cast of characters. This game redefined a large part of the Mario universe, which led the franchise down a path of narrative-driven games and eventually a Hollywood film. The Mushroom Kingdom is the main setting for most Mario games, and Mario RPG allows the player to explore and get immersed within it. The game starts out pretty familiar, starting at Bowser's Castle and hilly grasslands, both seen in previous games. But as the player continues, they are given free rein to explore a castle town. Here, they can interact and perform side quests for the residents, and even explore Princess Peach's castle for the first time in the series. The Mushroom Kingdom is now portrayed like a lived-in world, as opposed to a note inside of the game's manual explaining the story. We see shops, families, and people going about their days, each adding a bit of flavor and personality to the kingdom. But as the game goes on, this world keeps growing and gets even more complex. You travel to a pond and meet a family of tadpoles and their wise frog leader. You travel to a mining town, inhabited by a large amount of friendly moles. You enter a monster town, full of enemies you faced in previous games, now trying to live a quiet life and raise families. You even discover a cloud kingdom in the sky, which has its own unique society and royal family. None of these places were ever part of the Mario universe until now, and expand what you know about the Mario world. Every location in this game is rich and engrossing, which makes it easy to get immersed and keep playing just to see what's around the corner. The catchy music and adorable characters also make it impossible to not want to continue wandering about and exploring. This huge world lends itself to a complex and layered story, which can make you rethink how you view the Mario world and its characters. It starts as you would expect, with Bowser kidnapping Princess Peach and Mario traveling to save her. This is the formula most Mario games use, so it's easy for the player to follow along. That is, until 10 minutes in, where Bowser is usurped by a giant sword falling from space, and Mario is shot back to square one. Mario must travel around this large and non-linear world to return to the sword, rather than just make a beeline to the end like in previous games. Traveling through all these towns and dungeons, Mario faces many characters and challenges different from the typical Mario fare, and creates an adventure much more akin to a Saturday morning cartoon than a video game. Mario RPG's story is centered around wishes, and how they can bring us hope and gratitude once granted. The game's villains, the Smithy Gang, have destroyed the Star Road, which by extension supposedly prevents all future wishes from being granted. Collecting the 7 star pieces strewn across the world will allow the Star Road to be restored, and allow wishes to be granted once again. It is up to Mario and his friends to retrieve the star pieces before the Smithy Gang, while helping as many people as they can along the way. The player can get a good read on Mario's personality in this game, as he is treated like a beloved celebrity by the Mushroom Kingdom civilians, and he often responds with expressive animations and dialogue options. Even Bowser gets character development, as we find him with shattered pride for losing his castle. He surprisingly unites with Mario to help him defeat the common enemy, becoming the large tanky character of the group. Not only that, but Princess Peach also joins the group alongside Bowser, taking charge to help save her kingdom. She is hardly the damsel in distress in this game, and is portrayed as a fighter and a dedicated leader, 27 years before the Mario Brothers movie did the same thing. Mario games are often considered to be safe, keeping its characters simple and limiting them to a few catchphrases. Not Super Mario RPG though. These characters have ambitions, they have bite, they have personality. There's nothing wrong with having simple, marketable characters, but giving them just a bit more in the personality department can make them much more endearing and leave a lasting impression on the player. However, the true heart of Mario RPG's story lies within the 2 party members I have yet to mention. As I said before, Mario RPG's story is centered around wishes. If the Star Road remains destroyed, the people of the Mushroom Kingdom won't have their wishes granted or achieve their dreams. The protector of the Star Road, a living puppet named Geno, steps forth to aid Mario and restore the Star Road for the sake of fulfilling everyone's wishes. Gallantly full of fortitude and a desire to preserve hope and joy, Geno is a fan-favorite character for his determination to stop the destructive and impenitent nature of the Smithy Gang. He is a character who serves only to preserve what is good in the world and is nothing less than heroic. Plus, he objectively has the coolest design out of any Mario character. All that said, I believe the true heart of Mario RPG lies within its last party member, Mallow. Mallow is a lot weaker than Geno, and is often referred to as a crybaby. He doesn't know who he is or what he wants to do with himself, but wishes he could stand up and stop hiding on the sidelines. He is hardly the hero Geno is, and with the Star Road destroyed, supposedly there is no way for him to overcome his crybabiness. That said, he still chooses to travel with Mario, and makes a valiant effort to try and be a hero. As the game goes on, we see Mallow begin to cry less and less, and grow more capable of standing up for himself and others. Eventually, the group reaches the Cloud Kingdom, and learns that Mallow is a long-lost prince who fell to the Mushroom Kingdom as a baby, and allowed the Cloud Kingdom to get overtaken by villains. For the sake of the Cloud Kingdom, Mallow holds back his tears and fights to save his family from the invaders. Once the Cloud Kingdom is saved, Mallow is finally the brave hero he always wanted to be. He no longer cries in fear or in sadness, but still lets out tears because he is now who he always wanted to be, and he is finally and joyfully reunited with his family. With the Star Road gone, one would assume that Mallow's wish to stop being a crybaby could never be granted. Yet Mallow is able to make his wish a reality through his own will and determination. It's fun to make wishes on shooting stars, hoping that some cosmic power can make it a reality for us. However, Mallow illustrates that you can make your own wishes come true if you are willing to be brave and put in the effort. Even when you are alone, with no family, friends, or qualifications, if you begin taking the steps, get back up when you fall, and stand up to those holding you back, you will eventually find yourself where you once wished to be. Something to reflect on, from a Mario game over 2 decades old. For people in 1996, it is easy to see how Super Mario RPG resonated with so many of them. With its recognizable world, full of exciting new places and lovable characters, it is very easy to get attached and make this one of your favorite video games. That said, the game never got a direct follow-up. Sure, there have been many more Mario RPG games since then, but none of them have recycled the same world or characters as the very first. The characters Geno and Mallow were created for this one game, and this game has remained their only significant appearance. For the longest time, it felt as if these characters were gone, never to return. That was until early 2023, where it was announced that Mario RPG would be receiving a high-budget and long-awaited remake, allowing this game to be experienced by a whole new generation, and I could not be happier. For a while, I believed we had said so long to Geno and Mallow, never to see them again. But, as it turns out, it was never a so long, but instead, a see you again soon.